Everybody, welcome back to Change Your Perspective, Change Your Awareness, Change Your Life. I'm Dr. Michelina, AF, hashtag that felon doctor, here to talk to you about spiritual growth. And I know what you're probably thinking. I'm going to say something a little controversial here. Spirituality is not the same as faith or religion. I actually believe on a spectrum you have, I'm gonna probably piss a lot of people off here. I'm going to say it. I'm going to piss a lot of people off. It is what it is. I believe personally, religion has very little to do with faith nowadays. Religion has a lot to do with tradition and has very little to do with belief system. So for me, religion is the worst thing ever. If you have religion, you don't usually have relationship. You have tradition. So I'm sure I'm going to piss some people off there. But this is important to me because this is part of spiritual growth. Spirituality is found in the spiritual things. Religion and ritual are found in very tangible, tactile things. And both of those, religion and spirituality, can have very little to do with actual faith, which I know is going to piss a lot of people off. And then, just for funsies, we can throw, where does science come in? I like to throw science in because if you do it right, I consider myself a faith-based person, a spiritual person, and a believer in science. And if you do it right, I guess I'm saying my way is the right way. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, there's possibility there, but it works for me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's worked for me to overcome a lot of adversity. It's worked for me to bounce back from things that I thought would kill me. It's worked for me to overcome a lot of really painful, difficult things in abundance, which I'll never understand. So my perspective on the spirituality, the faith, and the science works. We won't get into that entire topic today. What we will talk about is spirituality. What is it to be spiritual? And that, I think, is where a lot of people struggle. At its core, being spiritual means you believe in something in the spirit, which for people who like very tactile things, that's a difficult thing to do. Because spirituality has to do with things you can't see. Faith has to do with believing in things that you can't see. So a lot of times faith and spirituality are tied together, right? A lot of times they can be tied together. I think more so than faith and religion really tie together. But, but hey, by the way, really quickly, all of these things, religion, faith, spirituality, and science, those are all on a spectrum. I don't include Christianity on that spectrum. How do we get real controversial? I don't include Christianity on that spectrum because you can have all of those things without Christ. I know. And here's how. I'll show you. You can have faith in things that are not seen, such as the universe. You can have belief spiritually in spirits and things that you don't see. You can have religion that has, you can make a religion out of anything. And science is science, right? So for me, all four of those things don't necessarily have to do with Christianity. And a lot of times people have a really hard time wrapping their mind around that. So Christianity is its own level of thing. Religion, science, spirituality, and faith are their own things. And so that, I think, the first part of spiritual growth is really delimiting what is spirituality and what it isn't. Spirituality is not Christianity. Spirituality is not religion. Spirituality is not science. Spirituality is not faith. Spirituality is getting good at getting in alignment with the spiritual self, which people have a hard time with. We're not even very good at our physical self, right? We don't do a great job at our energetic spiritual self. Really, I think the best way to think about spirits has a lot to do with energy. Now, everybody is figuring out, this isn't new, right? Ecclesiastes tells us there's nothing new under the sun. Things that seem new to us, they ain't really new, but energy is everything, okay? Everything has energy. And so if nothing else, I think that the start of spirituality begins with the acknowledgement of everything is energy. Your spirit self is energy. Everything has energetic wavelength to it. I was reading about sacred geometry the other day, and it's talking about how like the greats talked about how everything can be taken back to the sine curve, right? There are fundamental principles of this life that cannot be seen, can definitely be experienced, and now can be influenced and measured. And so energy is the beginnings of that. Spirituality, I think, is just acknowledging the beginning of spirituality. Good spirituality is acknowledging that there are things that you cannot see that influence how our life works. At its very fundamental core, right? There are things you cannot see that influence the way our life works. And I think pretty much anybody who is pretty logical can say, oh yeah, that's true. Because we can't see the air we breathe in, but that definitely, yep, influences the way life works. So with that very base definition of spirituality, it's pretty easy to come into that spiritual space. I like to make things as concrete as possible, these abstract concepts as concrete as possible. So if we think about things that are spiritual, they are things we cannot see that influence the way our life works. Now, that is why I throw science in with the spiritual and the faith-based conversation. And it is why, that definition is why there's no place for religion in the spiritual conversation where I'm concerned. Because religion is very much what you can see, what you can feel, what you can conceptualize. Religion is sit in a church every Sunday. Honestly, like that's religion. Eat the Eucharist. Pray to something. Get on your hands and knees. It's all very ritualistic. And that's fine. That's fine. But that doesn't necessarily include a spiritual component. Not actually. And most people who sit in a mosque or a pew or a church or a tabernacle, they've never even read the fundamental text that their faith, religion believes in. Right, and I am a fan of do your own research. I'm not going to believe in something I can't research for myself. There's too much knowledge out there now. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to believe. I'm not giving this to something that because someone said to do it or because I've been going to the same church or same mosque for 45 years. No. There's no spirituality in that. That's, though, the definition of spirituality as far as I'm concerned, things that you cannot see influencing your life. Science has a really big discussion there because you can't see the COVID virus, but hey, that influenced life, huh? And so to me, science is more spiritual than religion will ever be, which I know is a controversial opinion. And it's why I like to define things. Upper levels of spirituality, can include believing that the universe is benevolent, believing in an orderly design to things. If nothing else, believing in a creation or a creator, right? And this again is why I don't link any of this with Christianity because it's just different. Because you can have spirituality and not believe in Christ. And the premise of Christianity specifically is that you believe Christ died for your sins. If you believe in everything else and not Christ, you're not a Christian. So it doesn't matter. And again, that's fine with me. I don't care what anybody believes. It's irrelevant to me. It's just change your perspective, change your awareness, change your life. So figure out what you believe in. I'm not worried about what it is. I just want you to have awareness around whatever you do or don't believe or not believe. So for me, Christianity is not even in this conversation. It can be, but it need not be. Spirituality, believing in things you cannot see, is the beginnings of understanding how to get abundant. Because if you're just focusing on the things you can see, you're going to get very trapped in a small perspective. And you will not change anything, and you will not change your awareness, and you will not change your life. Because you'll be stuck in the rat race mentality. You'll be stuck in societal expectation. You will be stuck in the fact that this is all there is. What I can see is all there is. And if that's what you believe, it's the opposite of spirituality. It's the current reality. If that's what you believe, then you're never going to grow spiritually. There's no spiritual growth there. And this whole topic today is spiritual growth. How do you grow spiritually? You get rid of the belief that the only thing that exists is what you can see, because it's not true. It's just really not. It doesn't even make sense now. And I'll give it to you not even on a spiritual level, but on a science level. AI has come so far that I saw this the other day where it was like this guy who was speaking into AI, and it looked and sounded like he was Morgan Freeman, but he wasn't. He was some random white dude working with the technology. And that's why technology is getting to a place where it corroborates a lot of spirituality by the definition I'm providing, which is that your life is influenced by things you can't see. So if you want to start the growth of spiritual belief system, then you do, in fact, need to understand that there are a lot of circumstances that happen that you can't see that do, in fact, influence your life. It just is. And that's really spirituality. And then, you know, higher levels of spiritual growth can come once you open up your mind to the possibility that, wow, what I see is not all there is. There's so much more that I can't see. Now, I don't know how someone looks at the night sky and doesn't think that. Like, that's why I like seasons and signs. Bring it back to nature. It is very easy for me when I look at the sky and I'm like, hey, there are things we're never going to know that are influence our life. Quantum physics all the time. You speak and it impacts a particle on the edge of the universe, right? There's so much that we cannot see. Can you see words? No. Think about the process of speaking. It's like this energetic sound is coming out of my mouth into your ear. It's all a vibration that your brain makes a sense out of. Everything is vibration. Everything is energy. And when you think about how not concrete your life is, how not concrete your reality is, sometimes it's a little scary, honestly. Sometimes it's a little scary because everything that looks like it's solid and real and tangible and tactile isn't. Not actually. And that's science. That's not even spirituality. So the link between science and spirituality, I hope you're realizing, is so much closer than people realize. When we get into the faith discussion and the religion discussion, which I don't do much with, as I'm sure you can already tell, the faith discussion has a lot to do with you're believing things are working out for your good. And there's a spirituality there. The faith is that it's all working in your favor. And you can't have a faith. I firmly believe you can't have faith if you don't believe in some level of spirituality. Because then what do you have faith in? Yourself? You're running your life into the ground. We all run our lives into the ground. I'm going to tell you that right now. None of us know what we're doing. None of us know what we're doing. So I hope you don't have faith in yourself to the degree that you think you've got your things all worked out, because I can guarantee you don't have it half as figured out as you think you do. None of us do. None of us do. And so with that being said, spirituality is a really interesting conversation, and the growth in that spiritual space is an interesting conversation as well. I think I'm going to start up a channel. How many more channels can I have? I don't know. Where I actually do start teaching the Bible. I've been very hesitant to do this, but I think it might be time. So if it is something that the Christian walk is something you're interested in, because it's a very different walk than any other thing. It's a very different walk. It's not even in the same realm as what I just spoke about now. I'm going to get to that place probably in a little bit, but the Christian walk's its own life. So it's not for the faint of heart. It's not easy. There's nothing easy about the Christian walk. So that's its own topic for this whole another day. Anyway, all that to say that I hope you like what we're bringing you here, and that it's helping change your perspective, change your awareness, change your life. And if you do like it, like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment below. We're almost at the end of this series. We're going to talk about a fun one tomorrow. Sexuality, always a fun one. Save the best for last. And I will see you guys in the next video.